Welcome back to Meet Your Watershed. Today on the Meeting Your Mokelumne River Watershed, we're going to have a look at monitoring by several different groups. One would be EBMUD, who monitors the Mokelumne River for fish using their rotary screw trap to look at fish going in and out of the system. They also monitor in the uplands in a pond looking for California Tiger Salamander. And then finally we'll see what the city of Lodi is doing with their student and teacher storm drain detectives who monitor the river every month, have been for the last 20 years, looking at water quality. That data is available online for you to learn more about the Mokelumne River watershed. So come join us.
So this is one of the types of salamanders we'll see in the area. It's called a California Tiger Salamander. It is a threatened species listed by the federal and the state government. Threatened meaning, if we don't start taking care of it, at some point it's going to go extinct. This is a salamander you don't see much because it spends the vast majority of its life underwater, or not underwater, underground. It lives in gopher holes, squirrel holes. It comes up during rain events to go to the ponds to breed, lays eggs, and then they leave and come back out and go back underground. So this is a female salamander. Part of what it tells me is you can tell that she's laid her egg. She's kind of a little saggy through here. The males, the tail will be longer than this part of the body. The females, it tends to be the same length. Also, the male has a taller, broader tail. In the laboratory, they live to be 20 years.
No.
So in the wild, probably 10. See, this whole spot pattern is unique to individuals on their feet, their head, their body. And now, put her down the hole. So we want to put them in the hole so nothing eats them, because they normally aren't out during the daylight.
Okay, the eggs from last night, well, how long did it take for them to hatch?
About a week, depending on water temperature again.
So then you've got this critter, like a tadpole it must be.
They'll start out like that, and they end up
Tiny.
being about that long when they come out.
And they're just swimming around in there the whole time. They never come out.
Eating anything they can eat.
So tiger salamanders, California tiger salamanders are, help me understand this, endangered?
They're a threatened species. There's actually 6 unique groups of salamanders in California. 2 of them are listed as endangered, Santa Barbara population and a Santa Cruz population. The other 4 are kind of in this area, they kind of lump them all together and they're listed as a threatened species. Endangered meaning in the near future there's a chance they're going to disappear and no longer be here. Threatened is just in the near future, if we don't change what we're doing and help them, they're going to become endangered. And below that you have what's called species of special concern. We're worried about them becoming threatened. We don't want things to get to be threatened or endangered before we deal with it, because then it's just too hard to correct it.
So now we're about 13 miles below Comanche Dam on the Mokelumne River with an EBMUD team of scientists who come out here every day to the fish screw, the rotary fish screw trap, to see what they can find in the river. So we're going to go out with them and then come back and watch them measure fish.
This site is just below all of the suitable spawning habitat for Chinook salmon and steelhead. So that's why we have this trap here. So it's entirely powered by the flow of the river, pushing it in, and it's a funnel with fins, so the river makes it spin, and it funnels salmon down into a live well behind the trap. So what we're doing now is netting the debris out of the trap, and as we do, a lot of the fish will be trapped in the debris, so we're just gonna try to grab every fish. I like to use a little measuring board just to slip underneath them so they don't get crushed by my fingers.
Speaking of
So good. Okay, there he is. So right here we have a Pacific Lampreyamma seat, and this is the life stage, the juvenile life stage of the lamprey for their first 6 or 7 years. And what it is, they look like a little earthworm. They filter feed for the first 6 or 7 years of their life before they develop the suction cup and the eyes. This is another native fish that we typically catch prickly sculpin. And we typically keep these in a separate bucket from the salmon because they will predate on the salmon in the buckets.
So here's our friend.
And here's your
Amosite. Oh, then this is the, oh my goodness, look at the difference. The color's even changed. So this guy more gray, that guy more brown.
Yep. Yeah, so I mean it makes sense because this guy's been hanging around in the sand and the mud, eating detritus like Matt was saying.
And this guy.
And that guy's ready to go to the ocean and go grab onto someone.
3937. 0.2.
So we don't just monitor endangered or threatened species in the Mokelumne River watershed. The city of Lodi also monitors the Mokelumne River water quality through the Storm Drain Detective Program, trying to learn what the impact of the city's runoff is on the river. Let's go see what they're doing.
I forgot about the dogs. If you want to put those on the table. Okay. So now I'm taking electrical conductivity, or EC. Now we're doing the last dissolved oxygen test. Mrs. Turner tied the sensor on to here, so we need to float it in the water. What do you think?
964 at 20.1.
And odor,
Odor, the water had no odor.
so it's another 0. Algae,
There's no algae in there. If
and
you look out on the river, there's no foam flowing down the river.
Thank you everyone for joining us for this Meet Your Watershed episode on monitoring the Mokelumne River watershed. I'd like to thank EBMUD and the Storm Drain Detective teachers for allowing us to work alongside of them as they measured and monitored the Mokelumne River watershed. I'm hoping that as you listeners are considering careers, that you will look at these science jobs, or even teaching jobs, or even as a property owner, that you're thinking about the Mokelumne River watershed's water quality and your impact on it.